Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. It's now time for newspaper review.
And newspaper reviewer Chukwudi Okoli has just dashed into the studio. Welcome.
Victor, to all intents and purposes, I look calm and collected. I don't know about dashing in. How are you doing? There's no killing the beetle. I made it. Demola, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. When I was
just let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, when I was told that you were held in traffic, I said, held in traffic in Abuja.
Oh, no.
How come?
You see, look, what did I say about FEMA the other time? All FEMA needs to do is to take 8 hours to repair that bad portion in front of Abuja barracks. And the cacophony out there is going to be reduced 3/4. What are they waiting for? You're talking about a stretch that is not up to a half a pole. You let it disturb traffic. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Maraba is worse. Zenith Bank area.
All right.
It's unfortunate.
Anyway,
okay, it's good
I'm glad you made it.
Thank you.
Let's begin with this Nigeria. And the lead story here reads, flood. Tension rises as Kainji, Jeba, Shiroro set for discharge. Experts slam states for poor preparedness. Lagos, Anambra assure residents. Well, that story is on pages 2 and 27. And just above that story and right inside the nameplate, account for 14 trillion naira subsidy savings, Serap tells governors. That's on page 5. And to the right of the picture story there, Wike, Fubara, Amewule, others in reunion meeting in Port Harcourt is on page 20. And after that, troops eliminate terror kingpin Kachala. 35 others, rescue 22 victims. It's on page 26. And finally, on the front page of this Nigeria, NDLEA dismantles UK-bound cocaine cartels, seizes 150 million naira consignments, arrests 6. You get details of that on pages 5 and 27. And that leads me to the leadership. Right here on the leadership above the nameplate, stock market gains 60.193 trillion naira in 27 months under Tinubu is on page 4. Troops kill wanted terrorist kingpin Kachala Maidawa, 35 orders on page 6. Below the nameplate, cooking gas prices go through the roof nationwide. That's on page 36. And the main story, alleged certificate forgery. Pressure mounts on Science Minister Nnaji to resign. Civil society groups, lawyers, others say he must leave. How courts turned down minister's request to stop release of academic record. That one is on page 4. And to the strip on the left, Nigeria faces 194,000 teacher shortage. That's according to the union, and it's on page 7. Vested interests want to sabotage Dangote refinery. That's according to Arewa Consultative Forum, and it's on page 7 as well. Still on page 7, Adelabu Emilo Kan. It is my turn to become Oyo governor. You get details of that also on page 7. Ademola.
Yeah, it's my own turn now to read my own headlines. I have the Daily Times newspaper, and just above that nameplate, Nigeria's oil rigs soar to 69 as upstream sector gains momentum. NUPRC. 2027, Bakari cautions Southwest not to work against Tinubu. Details of that headline story can be found on page 7. ADC says Nigeria is under attack, offers solution to security crisis. Details on page 7. Domestic gas, key to Nigeria's prosperity, says Seplat Energy. Details on page 9. Kidnapping. NBA directs members to avoid 9 Kebbi local government areas. Then Nigeria needs robust policy response to safeguard investors' rights. CPPE. Details of that story can be found on page 7. I'm moving to the NG business. That's business NG. We have the just above the nameplate. Bananas unveils radical borders plans, vows to deport 150,000 illegal migrants yearly. Constitution review, reps open crucial talks with political parties today. Details of those two stories can be found on page 2. And just below the nameplate, we have Nigerians abroad spending 183 days in Nigeria may attract global tax report. Track your Nigeria visit or face double tax, experts warn diaspora. Nigeria to embrace cryptocurrency soon as market matures. That's CBN. The police clarifies stance, say no official court order halting tinted glass enforcement. Police clarifies stance, say no official court order halting tinted glass enforcement. You can find the details on page 11. Oh, well, Chooks, it's over to you.
So, if there is no official order halting enforcement of tinted glass, usage, who are those who are getting overzealous about it? Because I heard that arrests had already been made as far back as Wednesday or so. It was supposed to be October 1 or 3.
October 2nd, actually.
Anyway, let them work it out. Whom did you say is a Miloko in somewhere?
That's
The Minister
Adelabu.
of Power.
If I was still intensely, in TV, one of the things I would do is to ask President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to grant me an interview. And one of my principal questions would be, if you knew it was going to be this tough, would you have Emilio called into the fray? It's important to me because it tells you about the resilience of the Nigerian politician. So if after what President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is saying, midwifing life in Nigeria, people still go kitty to, I begin to think that maybe people like Victor, Demola, and Chukwu, they are cowards. Because we don't have the mind or heart to get in the fray. What really constitutes the makeup of the Nigerian politician? Anyway, I wish him luck. You'll start by expressing desire. Let it work out for him, but at the end of the day, let him serve his people if he gets that opportunity.
But in the meantime,
I find it very interesting.
But in the meantime, there's a job at hand.
Yeah. What's the job now?
Power.
Power. Okay.
So you should find solution to the challenges that we have, right?
Well, I didn't say so. There's a job at hand.
Please, now that you mentioned power, I want to thank AEDC for restoring the 4 spans that were vandalized on Keshi Road. We had power yesterday. Thank you for putting in that, okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
there's this pressure mounting on the Science Minister Naji to resign due to this this allegation of false certificates.
Controversy.
Yes.
Why should there be an allegation? When was Naji, put in this position you're talking about?
Well, they said
When did he get into the position?
about 2023.
2023. That is just 2 years ago. It tells you that our data bank is still very deficient. You should be in a position, you punch a name onto a system in this country and everything shows up there. It tells you we're still living in fairly prehistoric times, and that should not be. Data bank helps you fight crime. It helps you fight fraud. It helps you fight criminality. We have not pronounced the man guilty. We're just saying how we could have avoided all these things we talk about in the 21st century.
No, but it is the university saying they didn't issue the certificate being paraded.
Yes.
It is the university saying we didn't issue this certificate.
That's what I'm saying, that we should have access to. The university is a data bank that will tell us who. The man comes for the appointment, you say, okay, let's check out what you're presenting to us. It's not fast, it's possible, it is something that happens. But you have to have a data bank that works. And anyway, I'm not talking about the Rofo fight over data banks in Nigeria. These people want to have their own. Chukwudi's family want to have their own. Because of luck, some things are going to pick up. Give us a centralized data bank where people can... You should have access to the certificate they're talking about.
To be able to verify.
Of course, yes. No big deal about it. Chukwudi says he made a 2-1 in linguistics in the Department of Linguistics, University of Benin in 1984. Check it out there. So that the man doesn't go to... Because there was a case of one man who would move into town with a stethoscope. He was in social sciences. But he was posing as a doctor to get girls. Please, I didn't come here to gossip. Please.
What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. Bakari cautioned Southwest not to work against Tinubu in 2027.
I am scaling back on praising Tinubu. My problem is that when I believe in something, I believe in it. That's the way I am. Tinubu came in, met a lot of things, and he started working. And some of us think we're beginning to see results. I would say, why don't you give the man opportunity to finish the job? But that's Chukwudi's opinion. I don't know why Bakari is saying that. Bakari, remember, at his church, because sometimes Bakari will just leave the sermon and do some politics. At his church, he practically sent out a tirade. Then later, he and the president met. And then I told you, the greatest thing about Tinubu is that he's a dialogue maker. I wish I could attend a class, because I'll become more prosperous if I'm able to convince people. You go to him, Joe Jairo, we greeted just 3 days ago. Yeah, you are Tinubu, in I enter room. 450,000 naira come fall to 70,000 minimum wage.
Anyway.
You say, brother, leave that matter. Tinubu knows how to talk. Give it to him.
Just like you.
Do I know how to talk?
Just look in the paper.
Tinubu is functional.
Let's look at the
He achieves results.
Let's look at the issue
Look
of
at the paper staring you in the face.
Yeah,
flood.
Tension rises. You are doing this retroactively, The Kainji, Jeba, Shiroro set for discharge and all that, it's almost an annual ritual. So what I'll say is, how proactive were we towards this release? But the problem with Shiroro, Jeba, and the rest of it is that the elements are not helping us. The BBC showed the glacier in Australia, how it's melting at a terrible rate. It's not helping matters. The seas are already flooded. A little rain from the skies and banks overflow. So it's not just a Nigerian problem. We didn't prepare and all that. It's actually flooding across the world now.
So it's a global phenomenon.
It's the climate change.
All right,
thank you. Partly responsible.
All right, thank you so much.
But I was happy when they said that Euclid, a satellite that has been in orbit for 2 years now, is detecting a lot of things, including stars you never knew. So science is moving. Let's give you the assignment of joining them to detect the one that concerns Nigeria. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Yeah, kick me out. Have a great day, Chukwudi. Good Morning Nigeria returns after this break. Please stay with us.